Wednesday, everyone. I am Val Jean, and this is my world, at least the way I see it. If you are happy with the current regime, please scroll on by. This is not the channel for you. If you are not happy and you want something to do about it, come on in, pull up a chair, get a pencil and a piece of paper because we do give homework. And yeah, we got things we need to do today. The fam is here, so we're going to greet the fam. I for those in my crochet crowd, I was doing invoices today and my daughter called and wanted me to take the controls off of my live because Shorty couldn't get in. And I said, "Well, I can't do that because that's the not made for children." So we went around about that, and she's going to get to look at it on TV. And then the little boy down the street came up and he shoveled out my driveway. And I thought Reese was going to come on, so I scheduled my live for 3. Reese did not come on. So I said, fine, the little boy will be done by then, and I'll go live. He was done at 1:30. I said, okay, I'm going to move my live up to 2. We're going to do the live, then I'm going back to invoices. Hey! So, Chris is here, and she said she remembered. Chris, I've had this scheduled a couple of places today. I don't even know where we are today. And naps are approved entertainment. You go ahead, take a nap. I'm good. If I could, I would take a nap. Dinky Jen, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. How are you? Victoria, welcome in. How could you forget? How could you forget me? But thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Girl, I have trouble keeping up with myself. I did press the button. I have to press the button twice. I actually was back here playing with the lights and the stuff, trying to get it brighter, and then I realized what time it was, so here I be. Granny, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Victoria is crocheting away. Did a major clean this morning. You can come down to my house and help me. Dinky Jen is knitting. Okay. Okay. Chris says, FYI, my government phone has been flagging all Democratic messages as spam. Really? How did you discover that? Because, yeah, I can see him doing that. But how did you discover that they were being flagged as spam? Do tell. Inquiring minds want to know. Because I was searching, trying to see what excuse Mr. Johnson gave for closing Congress yet again, and I could not find that. You're like, we're not talking about Congress today. We don't know what he's doing. We don't know why he's doing it. I could not find anything on what Mr. Johnson is doing, and I'm careful how I scroll because, as I say, I keep running into things on Minnesota, and it just makes my ulcer bleed, and I don't have an ulcer, but it just frustrates me that much. I also posted in the description for those who are not regular members of my crochet channel. I posted the link from yesterday's live with because we gave suggestions and found patterns for hats, knit and crochet, and the proceeds benefit the immigration agencies in Minnesota. Chris is still typing. Okay. While Chris is typing, Granny saying hi to everybody. Victoria says, I didn't intentionally forgot. I was just busy and kind of forgot what day it was. I do the same thing. That's why I have alarms set everywhere. Um, they did a side by side yesterday. Well, yesterday was Monday. Yes. of Greg Bovino and Christy Nome giving their little post episode speech, they were doing the same speech word for word. And to make matters even worse, 47 is sending Mr. Holman up to Minnesota. Governor Walz is looking really haggard. They are really working his nerves. Roberta, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Chris, did you walk off? I'm sorry. Did you roll off? She comes in, she drops a bomb, and then she leaves me. She knows I'm going to ask. Roberta says, I just saw that the... Oh... I forgot they had body cams. I want to know, because I'm not going to watch it, but I want to know what was on Mr. Preddy's cell phone, because he had his phone in his hand. And I would like to know what he captured. I'm not going to look at it, but I want to know what he captured. Because I have looked at it from every angle. I clocked all of the crimes at the time, but I'm not going to look at it again. Because I know what I saw, and I saw what I saw, and I saw how they're spinning it. And we have letters to write. Granny says, dearest Lord, help us. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. There she goes. Chris says, the phone is set to send spam to a spam folder, okay, and I noticed that the majority of them were from the Democratic Party and those that support them. So you went and looked at your spam folder. Ooh. Because somehow or other in my feed, there was the old clip from 47 on how he was going to save money by closing programs. And he was closing all of the Democratic programs. He wasn't closing the Republican programs. Yeah. That's a good catch, Chris. That is a good catch. Do not have a government phone, so I did not know that that was a thing. But I can see that being a thing. The Minnesota police have it. Okay. Okay. Because, they did go to court and they won the suit that the FBI and DHS are not allowed to destroy any evidence. They have to turn it over intact. Well, we know what happens when they lose a case, but they've lost this suit. If they are they going to do it? I don't know. But if they don't do it, they're going to be held in contempt of court. And somebody asked the AG what happens if they don't do it. And he says if they don't do it, they're in contempt of court. And if they're in contempt of court, we're going back to court. So they're trying to do it legally. I believe the final consensus was that Minnesota is going to investigate the case themselves because I can see his face and his name's not coming to me. The head of the FBI is spinning it. Christy Nome is spinning it. Christy Nome had a 2-hour closed-door meeting with 47 yesterday, and she got her rear end handed to her. And they say she got her rear end handed to her because the press secretary said that there was no yelling and no cursing and no firings, which means that there were. Yeah, Chris is back. She didn't run away. I bless her heart. You just typing slowly. You know what? I used to type fast. I don't type fast anymore. So that's why I just went on and I waited for you to come back up because I was like, she's going to give me the good stuff. And you did. And I appreciate that because I did not. I learned something new on every live. You all know that because I did not know that was a thing. See, Roberta, that's what I thought. His phone is missing. Uh, what is it? Nicole, her car is missing, and it was her car and something else from her unaliving or missing. Somebody said they might be in D.C. Why would you take it to D.C. when you've got a federal building in Minneapolis? I don't know. I don't know. But her whole daggum SUV is missing. Crystal, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Last snow day, I get to hang out with you ladies. Yay! I did go out last night. I bundled up. I shoveled from my front door to the mailbox, and I was almost to the mailbox when this black SUV drives by and just stops. And I look up, going, oh Lord, I can't run up this driveway. It was my neighbor down the street, and she says, you don't need to be out here shoveling this driveway. I said, I'm just going from the house to the mailbox. She says, you want me to send my son up? I said, no, don't bother him. I'm not doing all that. She says, well, he's trying to earn some money. I said, okay, send him up. And then when I came in, it was getting dark, and she came to the door and said her son said he'll do it. And I said, tell him don't come now because it's getting dark. I don't want him out in the dark. Ask him to come tomorrow, which is today. And he came up and he did a good job. Nice, polite, mannerable, and I've never met the child before. They live 2 doors down and I've never met him before. But yeah, when I need snow work and whatnot done, I'm just going to pay him since he's trying to earn some money because I'm all for, small businesses. Granny says, Crystal, glad you with us when you can be. Amen. And there's always a replay. Victoria says, hey, Divergent, it's still cold here and still dealing with residual snow stuff here. We got the same. Oh, we got a heat wave here. It's 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees. It's a heat wave. Roberta says, and once again, these were experienced border patrols, so they can't blame it on training. The ones from Saturday weren't, is my understanding, because they did not have the training in proper takedown. I got that from Monica Presley Sunday. Don Lemon had a panel dissecting the whole Minnesota thing, and Mike Fannin was there. Jolly, let's see, it was, well, Don was there because it's his show. Monica Presley, Michael Fannin, Jolly, Tara, Sedemeyer, and Nick. I forgot Nick's last name. Nick was on the ground in Minneapolis, and they were doing a prayer vigil. So they were dissecting the whole thing, and Monica and Mike both agreed. Mike is a former policeman. Monica is a lawyer, and I think Tara's a lawyer or an activist, or both. But they agreed that takedown was not a proper takedown, and with him face down on the ground, there was no reason that they had not zip tied him at that point in time. So those were some of those that had the 47-day training. And even the regular DHS who've had proper training, they're upset as well. They've been very vocal about. I heard they've been vocal. I have not heard anything from them, but I heard they have been very vocal about the incident. So yeah, we can blame it on their training. And of course, I'm getting mixed signals because everybody's asking who those six particular people were, and somebody said that they've already been scooped up and taken out of the state. I don't know. I don't. That's the you're trying to sift the weed the seeds from the chaff because you keep getting misinformation because they're trying to muddy the waters. This is the last year of Verizon's negotiated contract. Okay. Cash Patel, thank you. I could see his face, but his name was not coming to me. It I had a mental block. It was not coming to me. Crystal says, I heard they fired Cap. Yep, they fired him yesterday. And they are wondering when Christy Nome and her second Lewandowski are going to be fired. And no, I'm not going to say that on the air because that's just going to get me in trouble. I didn't say that. Victoria says, I was going to say hi to you. Oh. It's not just me, Lord. Roberta says, Crystal, he's not fired, just moved back to old positions. Okay. He was fired from DHS. He's going back to his old position in California, and he is going to do that as he eases in retirement. But being on the DHS, FEMA, all that nonsense, he's been taken out of that role and put someplace else. We have a lot of them that could be put someplace else. Patel got caught by Schiff doing FBI files erasures. Yay, yay, yay. And we still don't know what happened to that $50 million at home and got in a brown paper bag. Because they were questioning, who's the blonde chick? Nobody. I can see everybody's face today, but nobody's name is coming to me. Bondi. And she skated all around that question, but she never answered. And she never said if they even retrieved the money. But we got $50 million that's unaccounted for. Victoria says, might go to lurking for a bit, going to do some minor cleaning, and will chat when I can. Okay, baby girl. Before you leave, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Oh, wait a minute. Before you go, while you're sitting here, let me share this first, and then we will come back, because this is serious. But you know what? It's so funny. I feel good about it. Let me scroll up so I can get you all on the screen. Yeah, because that's not the one I want to show. Where did it go? Okay. Can I make this any bigger? No. That's as big as it gets. Okay. Let me share the screen because I like this. And then you can go clean, Victoria. Roberta says she'll be right back. Since I'm always behind in the chat, I hope she's back. If not, we can always revisit it. And this is from Little Reese. And I love it. He says, Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure you're on here before I start telling you what it says. And you're not. What the hey? Oh, man. There we go. Breaking. Officials from 19 countries say their governments are now ignoring Donald Trump's increasingly desperate calls for trade deals, saying that they'll pause all deals with the U.S. until a president gets elected who isn't a belligerent idiot. And I'm not offended. Okay, Victoria, now you can go clean. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, where was I? Okay. Victoria says, I've seen a lot of younger kids, adult earning money shoveling. That's awesome. Mandy, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming, baby girl. And duck, because Holman's on his way to your area. Victoria, I do not have Nightbot set up here. I don't know if I can have Nightbot here with 79 people. I'll have to look into that. Your high for today is 39 below. What? I hope you mean 39 degrees, not 39 below. Don and Reese are such dishes and so intelligent, and Reese cracks me up. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But he was so frustrated when he went. He didn't even do a premiere Saturday. He just did a plain old video so nobody could chat. I guess he felt sorry for the mods. But yeah, no. They keep putting out the word they need more mods, and I'm like, your chat is too busy, and I can't focus on what you're saying if I'm out here telling people that they've been flagged. Crystal says, hey to anyone I missed, not trying to be rude, just working on welding caps and listening since I missed a couple of days. Side hustle enacted. Okay. Your side hustle is not crocheting, my love? Victoria's got 17 degrees. I'm so sorry. Welcome back, Roberta. Okay, so now Roberta has seen it. Yay. Victoria says, we understand you need to do what you need to do. See, hey, they're finally putting the screws to him, and when commerce really starts to suffer, they're going to stand up. Crystal says the shooting happened due to inexperience. If you want closely, the guy in the gray jacket discharged the weapon of Alex, and then they started shooting. Yeah, those are some of those 47-day people. They should not be allowed out in the streets, but that's just me. Jennifer says it's 43. It's been raining all day, and we have severe flooding in Ireland. Ooh, not sure about elsewhere, and we just got a snow warning on the computer. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I could see his eyes. I could see his face. I could see the scruff. His name was not coming to me. Like, Bondi's name wasn't coming to me. I had to sit and think about it because over at Reese's we call her Blondie. And I'm like, what is Blondie's real name? I could see her face. Name? Nah. Yeah, he's got crazy eyes. I wonder if he's got a goiter. I really do. My son-in-law says Patel always looks like the guy praying no one notices he's... Whoa! Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Bovino is being allowed to retire and collect a retirement check. You mean a retirement government check? What was he doing? Okay. Field trip. I don't even know what his job was in California. And after Christina said the SS Bovino, I looked at his coat and I was like, oh, that is an SS coat. Because I looked at it and I clocked it as being military, But just seeing, from here to here and seeing the buttons and the strap, I hadn't seen the whole coat. So I didn't realize that it does look like an SS overcoat. There's so many things I miss and everybody else catches, and I love it. Let's see, what was Greg Pavino's previous job? Move. Are you all here? No. Come with me. How can I have a field trip when everybody's not on the bus? Let's see. According to Wikipedia, Gregory Joseph Boyle. No, I said Bovino. Why are you giving me Boyle? And Bovino is definitely, because I left out some words, some letters. Hold on. Let's correct this because I was typing. Bovino. He's only 55 was his worrisome self. El Centro, okay. Bovino graduated from Western Carolina University in '93, Granny, and attended Appalachian State University for graduate school, Crystal. Ooh, he's educated, he's just crazy. What was his previous job? I don't care about his ethnicity. Returning to position in El Centro, California as chief of that sector. He's chief of that sector. So he's always been in Border Patrol. Then she says he has not been relieved of his duty, referring to him as a key part of the president's team. See, you all lie so much you believe your own lies. President has dispatched Holman, bypassing the normal chain of command where Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Bovino have been overseeing ICE operations. Well. So he's going back to El Centro to do whatever he was doing. Still sounds like he was in law enforcement. I have lost my arrow. There we go. Oh, jeez. Okay. Pebbly Pooh, welcome in. You're here listening, staying warm. More snow this afternoon. I'm so sorry. Mandy says Patel definitely looks perpetually scared. Yeah, there's, at least 50K. It wasn't 50 million. Thank you, Chris. I got the 50 part right. For me, that's a plus. I don't do numbers well. I try. You have to give me an A for effort. Dinky Jen is praying for everybody. Pebbles, you need to work on another blanket so you can cover up while you work. Roberta says to Crystal they were experienced Border Patrol. No excuses other than they've been given permission to do what they've always wanted. Mm, mm. Pebble says offended. I must agree 100%. Girl, see. I know that's right, says Granny. Roberta says, Chris, my opinion, he paid his bookie. That's a good opinion. Welcome in, Sam. Good to see you. Good morning. A lot of the world is not happy. I just wish the hardcore MAGA could see that it's not just us Dems who are saying Trump needs to go. It's the whole world. They see it. That's probably why Mike Johnson has recessed the Congress yet again. They see. They're running. They're ducking. They're dodging. This is craziness. I didn't ever think that I would live through a time when we would become a civics class. Chris says, I think they'll only stand up against him when they can't get transportation. It's possible. We will see. Roberta says, Sam is cult and some are just lost. Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid. They drank the Kool-Aid. Sam says, all my life, when I doubt my position on anything, I look around to see just how alone am I in my thinking. It's like going on a first date and the guy says, every girlfriend I have had is crazy. This is the old thing. Are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? We've seen it. We've seen the uncut version, but they're still spinning it. So sad. It's so sad. It is so sad. Oh my gosh. Sam says chances are it's not the girlfriends that are crazy. I second that. I second that. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. Not every single one. Or he's picking the wrong girls. So there's something wrong with his selection. Crystal says, and his daddy murdered someone driving drunk, so he may not have come from the best bunch. Oh, Bovino, really? Oh, so he's got that alcoholic gene as well? See, that's why I don't drink, because I know I got that alcoholic gene. And yeah, no. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. Roberta says, Chief Patrol Agent of the Border Patrol's El Centro sector in California. I guessed good. I said he was still in the Border Patrol. Look at me trying to piece things together and actually doing it correctly. Thank you, Roberta. I knew you had it. That's why I came back. So, will Bovino boss be Donald or Newsom? It's Border Patrol, so it'll be Donald. No, it's Border Patrol, so it'll be Holman. Holman's in charge of Border Patrol. Pebble says, I am covered with a nice thick throw from under my feet to my neck. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Alan Michael, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Alan says, where was Congress during 4 years of open borders? Congress was trying to dig us out of that hole post COVID. They were, well, it was during COVID, because they came in during COVID and they were trying to get vaccines and laws and everybody quarantined and dig out from the previous 4 years. And everybody keeps saying open borders, and I don't know that it really was an open border. They took the fence down, but they didn't take the fence down until the third year, was it? And they still had the border police there uh, interrogating people as they came across, didn't they? It's it. We gave a lot of people asylum. We tried to, bring me, you're poor, you're tired, you're hungry, yearning to be free. Yeah. But they were working through the pandemic. So everybody says it was open. People still had to get their papers. They still had to file for asylum. All the Venezuelans had asylum. Michael, hello, hello. All I know, what you put out in the universe will come back tenfold. Their day will come, and when the reckoning comes, I pray that what they put out in the universe is what they get back. I said that last week. And I would really like to be here to see it, because I do believe that. I really do. Roberta says, Mike sent the House on recess so they can't impeach. Well, you know what? Since he's always bypassing Congress and doing what he wants to do, we should be able to bypass Congress and go straight to the Senate and have the Senate do it. Didn't the Senate put out something or other about the 25th Amendment or something or other? We talked about that last week. Bonnie, welcome in. Good to see you. How much snow did you get, girlfriend? Roberta says, if it's always the girlfriend, maybe it says what you're doing. Yeah. Crystal says, I am not saying there isn't fault toward when I said that's what caused it. I am saying that there are strong grounds for proof of government at fault. Yeah, there is. There is. That's why they're backpedaling so fast. Sam says, Michael, uh, trying to pass a bill which Trump told representatives not to let pass so that Trump could rally on the border. That came out in the end of 23, because they had that bipartisan bill and he would not let them pass it. I knew that it was the third year. Yeah, that came out in 23, because that's why he kept holding that over their heads for the his campaign about the border, because he wouldn't let them pass that bipartisan bill. So that's where that was, Alan. Thank you for reminding me, Sam. I knew there was something there. Kim, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Oh, honey, you weren't here for the beginning. We are so not great. We've got 19 countries who will not trade with us. Oh, that's the wrong slide. Hold on. Let me go back to where we were before. Yeah, we've got 19 countries who won't trade with us. And I'm okay with that, because this is madness. I lost my tab. There we go. Michael wasn't here. Alan wasn't here. 19 countries. He asked for it. And no, we're not great yet. And what did he say? Don't ask about the price of eggs. Ah, Victoria says, have been listening. I hate hearing that you guys, what you guys are going through all this, that you guys are going through all this stuff. Thank you, Victoria. I hate it too. I really do. Roberta says, oh man, I want to be a fly on the wall when Holman and Bovino cross swords. Crystal says, I love how people mistake the immigration process. Half the illegals they are picking up have a case for citizenship, some that have been sitting for 20 years. Yeah. And I hate that they're going to the courts and they're picking the people up from the courthouse and they're trying to do it the correct way. So yeah, it's they're talking out of the side of their necks. Crystal says, Roberta says, Crystal, or that all immigrants are out there causing chaos. And think about it. His grandfather was an immigrant. Two of his wives were immigrants. Everybody short of Native Americans are immigrants. Everybody in this country is an immigrant. Bonnie says, we got like 12 inches. I don't know we got a lot, but it's been melting today, so that's good. I was back on the roads yesterday. I'm still sitting here because I know how to drive in the snow. It's everybody else out there, so I'm staying in. Roberta says, oh, I found out those 50,000 bonuses and student loans don't get paid until after they've been in for 5 years. I wonder if they were told that when they signed up. Michael says, spent all that money on a fence that falls over in 10-mile-per-hour winds. and Mexico did not pay for it. Crystal says, right, Roberta, it's a way to hide racism. They're not hiding it. They're just right out here in everybody's face saying, yeah, all the brown people are going. Bonnie says, I'm just not sure how much. I understand. I understand because I forgot to go out there with my ruler when I went out there. Victoria says, we are all great in our own individual ways. Some just have yet to realize their greatness gets them into a boatload of trouble and don't know how to get out of it. Ooh, you need to put that on a plaque someplace. We need to start painting that on fences. Ooh, Lord. Sam says, I know for many the last straw was Trump stating we wouldn't come to the aid of the USA when it has only been the U.S. to activate Article 5 and NATO replied in numbers. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. But we weren't supposed to be going to anybody else's country anyway, but they went to Venezuela and they went overseas. And Kim says we got chickens. Really? But it's pretty expensive to buy everything else. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I know Miss K loves the chickens. Michael says, I fell on the floor when the Supreme Court said my marriage is valid and can't be changed. Panda and I were expecting to claim asylum, LGBTQ asylum in Canada. Yay. I know you about fell on the floor. I'm glad you didn't because you wouldn't have been able to get back up. But yeah, I missed that one. Thank you for sharing. Yay, Panda. Hugs and smooches. Bonnie says a lot of people are here to work their butts off, and they do, and they pay taxes, never to get it back. Olivia's father became a citizen 20 years ago. It cost him $10,000. 20 years ago, it cost $10,000? Oh, for the love of God. Ooh. Kim says, I hate that people are being treated as criminals who murdered someone for a civil offense. I hate that they're scooping them up and shipping them out of the country without due process. Just anybody and everybody. Roberta says, Sam, that ticked me off royally, and I'm a U.S. citizen. Bonnie says, the reason a lot don't have citizenship is because it's too damn expensive. Well, then with the courts, it's a process. Then you've got to, get your papers, and you've got to go and do the whole citizenship and pledge your allegiance and do all that nonsense. It's not like when you go to get divorced and you wait your 6 months, you go in, they stamp you and say you're good. You have to keep going back. Sam says people are pissed he is dishonoring the dead of other countries. For every 2 U.S. soldiers who died, 1 non-U.S. soldier did. He only honors the deceased U.S. soldiers when he can get a photo op. If it's not for a photo op, he doesn't honor them either. Crystal says, hell, ICE picked up 4 people that are Lakota, can't be more of a citizen. If you can't tell a brown person from a Native American, you need to retire. You just need to turn in your badge and walk away somewhere. Bonnie says, from Chicago, I know, but ICE kills you. And get you some salt. Sam says, Michael, I am so happy that they stood firm on that. I know. I know. Because if 47 had anything to say about it, they would not. Roberta's PO'd about the suckered and losers remark. And DC, only one has been released. The others, they say they can't find. How do you lose people? How do you lose people? You have an early funny. You can't give us a funny until it's time. Congrats, Michael. I missed the one. This not just me. Yay. Because I missed that one too. But I am so happy. Roberta says, I'm a bit scattered. There's just too much, and y'all give me permission to vent. Yes, ma'am, we give you permission to vent. After I saw Don Lemon on Sunday, and then I went over and listened to Tim Walls, I switched off and went to something else because I had to decompress. I was so thoroughly outraged and frustrated, and I just wanted to lay hands on people. Michael says it's expensive to become a citizen. It can cost between 40 and 80,000 now. How is anybody supposed to afford that? Not everybody who comes over has somebody to sponsor them and get them an Einstein visa to fast track them. 40 to 80,000. Lord. Bonnie says, yes, Michael, a lot of Olivia's family live in Chicago and they're living scared. I know they are because they went to Chicago second. Sam says, yes, Bonnie, the system needs to be smoother, faster, and cost less. Australia is just as slack. 2 years. What takes so long? Employ more people. Right? And then didn't he closed a lot of the immigrant courts and fired some of the lawyers. So they have even less people working on cases than they had before. Bonnie says they don't have that money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Michael says he doesn't even honor them then. He calls those that died losers, yet he is the one who claimed bone spurs to get out of the damn draft. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. And the horse he rode in on. Michael says they can't find them. They sent them to a country they were never from, anyways. I hate that. I hate that. How are you just going to drop somebody in a country they've never been to with the clothes on their backs? And if they don't speak the language, how are they supposed to get jobs? It's so inhumane. That's what gets me, the inhumanity of it all. Roberta says, man, I forgot my funny already. You need to type it down. See, that's me. That's me. Sam says, Michael, the fact Trump can stand at a soldier's grave and say, I don't get it. What was in it for them should be proof enough that he isn't fit to be president. They had a thing yesterday where he slipped and said that he had a stroke during a medical visit, and I was listening to something else, and I couldn't go back and to find it. I have to go back. I think it was on Jack Cocciarella, and that would be why he had to go back for that follow-up MRI. Roberta says they lost people because they don't do the paperwork and they just ship them out. I am sorry, but we're better than that. We are better than that. Michael says, but hey, got $1 million, you can get that flashy Trump gold card for instant citizenship. I thought it was 5. Because you got to have money to come here. And you have to come from one of those Norwegian countries, because he wants them, light skinned, blonde, pale. Yeah. Nobody with any melanin. Crystal says, my opinion is, why the hell are we spending that much on ICE when we could make it easier to become a citizen, but hard to exploit people that way? That's a good question. That's a good question. And that could be one of our letters for this week. So that would be homework number 1. Because we usually write, why are we funding ICE when we could be funding the social programs? We haven't done this one yet, so I agree. I like that one. Hold on, let me write it down, because by the time I end this live, I will forget. That's a good idea, Crystal. That really is. Because remember, he arrested that lawyer because she had a client in her office. She was working through the system with him. When ICE came, she sent the man out through the back door, and they detained her for obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice. He's working through the system. He's in his lawyer's office. He's doing everything correctly. That's part of the madness. Bonnie says, VJ, Olivia, and I just got updated voter cards. What are we voting on? Midterms. We're voting out all the reds. We're voting in all the blues because we need the numbers. After we get the numbers, we're voting out the bad blues and we're getting new ones. But we're voting out all the reds, all of them. Just, they all got to go. Michael says, right, Sam. The only thing he does get is that high cholesterol from McDonald's. Kim says, the cruelty of the act isn't a bug, it's a feature. That is so sad. True, but it is so sad. Bonnie says, that man has papers that says he's a bona fide idiot. Don't get me started. I can't stand the man, and I live in... Hey, baby, I'm in the same territory you are. I am in a blue city in a red state. And they chopped up the other blue city to get another red seat. I'm right there with you. Michael says, you can say it. He wants white people. A racist, purist a-hole. He wants white people. He does. And he wants them. And remember when he first got elected, we were saying he wants to make America white again. He really does. But America's never been white because they found out it's hot in the South. And if you really want good crops, you got to get some people out there that can tolerate the heat. Now, I've been so diluted I can't tolerate the heat anymore. That and my medication. But yeah, no. Roberta says, oh, I remember someone said Greenland is doing first strike. They sent us their weather. It was Christina that was laughing at them. They were taking pictures of themselves and putting penguins in the pictures with them, saying that they were taking over Greenland. And she said, you stupid F's, there are no penguins in... yeah, they're taking over Greenland, Iceland. Greenland. She says, there are no penguins in Greenland. Every place that has ice does not have penguins. They love the uneducated. I know, that was a good one. Roberta, people will believe that. Yes, they will. Bonnie says, what? November. Midterms is November. Thank you, Roberta. Yeah, it's November. We got it. The part of the problem is we don't have the numbers. Republicans are running roughshod over us because we're in the minority. And even though some of the Republicans say that they will vote on our side, when it comes time for the vote, they vote on the other side because they're afraid of 47. They're afraid of being primaried, but they don't have sense enough to know that if they vote against what their constituents really want, they're going out anyway, whether they're primaried or not. They're going to be voted out. And they don't have sense enough to understand that. They're trying to keep their cushy jobs. Gots to go. Bonnie says, everyone give a thumb. Don't forget. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Crystal says, Roberta, careful. I mean, remember, these MAGA idiots think we have a machine that handles the weather. They might attack. You're welcome, Bonnie. Roberta says the penguins can't afford to move to Greenland. They have to pay those tariffs. Jen says, I saw a short about Native Americans saying it's their country. They were there first, not white people, and they are correct. but there's more to the short that I can't remember. But no, they are correct. They are correct. They were here first. And somebody said that they weren't always here. They came here from somewhere, but they were still the first ones here. They Columbus and all of them did not come to an uninhabited country. The natives were here and they did their best to massacre them, to take over their land. And then they brought us over. And the rest is history. Even though they're trying to whitewash the history, the rest is history. So, yeah. How are you, RM? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And it is 3 o'clock. I have scrolled back up to get Roberta's funny. RM, we meet here every Tuesday, either 2 p.m. Central or 3 p.m. Central. If something is going on online and I want to watch it and bring that to the table. But we're here every Tuesday. Sam says there are DNA similarities between Australia's first people and the Native Americans. Really? I know some of the tribes have Asian DNA. They came over the Bering Strait and down through Alaska and came down, as opposed to those with the Hispanics and the Incas and the Mayas that came up from Peru and Ecuador and all that. I'm the one with Asian. I have no Native American DNA. My DNA is Asian. I when I discovered that, I was like, oh. RM, you are right. The government took the natives out of a beautiful place. And even when they had treaties and their peace talks, the government broke the treaties. So, you can do all the steps, you can do all of the things, and you can still be screwed and massacred. And they massacred women and children. You are so very welcome. Yeah, this is the one place you can come and you can speak your mind respectfully. And we write letters and try to get things done. In the description, if you choose, there's a link for how to find the senators in your area and how to find the Congress people in your area. And we write to our senators and Congress people to let them know what our issues are respectfully, because you have to give your name and your address. And I don't want the Frozen crew to show up at anybody's house. But it keeps them from being able to say, well, my constituents want. No, they don't, because we all wrote you letters saying that's not what we want. So this is the way to let them know that, no, we're not happy with this. No, this is not what we want. And we keep writing to flood their inboxes. And there is an app called 5Call. You can make 5 calls at once. They flood their voicemail. Yeah, we're flooding the zones. Roberta says the Europeans didn't discover the Native Americans. The Native Americans rescued a bunch of lost Europeans who were cold and starving. Yes, they most certainly did. And that's why they were thankful, because they were rescued. You are exactly correct. That's where our Thanksgiving came from. Dinky Shin says, I got some new DNA results today. It included South Africa. Yeah, because the British conquered South Africa. That's where they had their outpost. Yep. So yeah, the Brits are in South Africa and India. Yeah. Right. Right, RM. So yeah, they're in South Africa and India. And now we have the South Africans over here. Yeah, Chris, that's where they went. That's like idiot doesn't realize that Texas and California were part of Mexico. Uh, the president of Mexico told him that's why it's the Gulf of Mexico. She says it's not the Gulf of America. We're gonna redraw the map and we're gonna take Texas back and put it back in Mexico where it belongs. That's like Louisiana was part of Mexico, and I was part of Mexico because our early records are in Spanish, or is it French then Spanish then French? There's French and then Spanish and then French, and the United States bought us through the Louisiana Purchase. We were part of Louisiana. Reading old records in a foreign language is really hard. Great. I wrote to mine yesterday and to the White House. When 47 gives his State of the Union address, he usually puts his phone number on there so that you can text him. But I had started putting that on earlier and telling people to text from a burner phone. Don't use your real phone so that you don't get traced. But I don't even put that number out anymore because he's gotten so scattered and paranoid. Yep, different company this time. Oh, it's a different company? Did you go through what is it, Living DNA? Roberta says RM on MLK Day I posted his I Have a Dream speech to the White House Twitter account. I love you for that. I don't have Twitter anymore. Yeah, that was a good job. Paul, I was thinking about you the last couple of weeks. Are you okay? I haven't seen you since last year. And Roberta says, DC, he's not even sure where Venezuela is. He just knows he can make money. Because he thought that Argentina was Venezuela. And he had me so confused. I thought he knew what he was talking about. He had me because you all know I'm geographically challenged. Gav, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate the solidarity from across the pond and from down under and from our friends up in Canada because we're out here all alone. Thank you so much for coming. Jen says, my heritage is doing a new deep dive that Ancestry hasn't done yet, and it was on sale for $29. Oh, really? Well, I had mine done it at my heritage. I'm not gonna do another one. Paul was good. It just didn't get the darn alerts. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Paul, put in your phone. We go live every Tuesday, and it's either 2 p.m. Central or 3 p.m. Central, depending upon what's going on online. If Reese is online, I do 3 p.m. Central after him because he usually spouts out something that I want to bring to the table. If Reese is not online, then we do 2 p.m. Central. So just log in, show up. We'll be here between that time somewhere. You can, and you can open two tabs and leave a tab open here and watch somebody else, and you'll start hearing my voice, and you can come over here. Yeah, YouTube doesn't always give alerts. I don't know what's wrong with them. They say turn your bell off and then turn it back on. They do that a lot. Crystal says, Roberta, he gets on my nerves so dang bad. VJ, I am trying to be good and use a broken filter. I know, Crystal. I know. That's why I'm not going to talk. That's why we're not talking about Saturday because it makes my ulcer bleed. I am so thoroughly frustrated with these people, and my our hands are tied. So we gotta write, we gotta write, we gotta write. Roberta says, I'm thinking about posting the song for what it's worth on his account next. And Bonnie, the other thing is, I don't know which district you're, well, we're in the same district, but both of the senators are Republicans. My congressman is a freshman Democrat. My congressman is a Democrat. He's a freshman congressman. Bonnie, who's your congressperson? We're all worried for you. Thank you so much, Gavo, because it's scary over here. It really is. And for those who just came in the description there is also a link for the live I did yesterday on my crochet page. There are knit and crochet patterns that you can purchase to aid the people who are aiding the immigrants in Minnesota. And there are also patterns for the little bunny hat in knit and crochet that Liam, the little 5-year-old, was wearing when he was detained. And then dear darling Roberta had an aviator hat. So we got the patterns for them too. So if you need something to do with your hands, something to calm your nerves, if you knit and or crochet, the links for that is in the description. Also, our homework today, oh, Crystal gave the homework. We're writing that to stop sending money to ICE and use that money on the immigration courts because they fired a lot of the immigration attorneys. So we need the attorneys, we need the courts, and we need ICE not to detain people coming out of the courts because they're trying to do the right thing. They're going to courts, they have their papers, and they're being detained coming out of the courthouse. That is wrong on so many levels. So that's our homework for this week. Roberta says, I'm taking too much pleasure being a troll. Go for it, girlfriend, because I don't have a Twitter account. So kudos to you. I'm happy for you. And keep up the good, what do they say? Fight the good fight. Roberta says, Chris, I've been nice for so long. I'm catching up. Chris says, but you so good at whack control. Girl, you know, that's why we have our wrench. Michael says, my U.S. Congress rep is Trump's Dr. Feelgood Ron. Oh, my God. Michael, I did not know that. Oh, Jiminetti, baby. I'm so sorry. And then you got you got Governor Hot Wheels. Roberta says, Liam has been found at a detention center and they took that baby out of Minnesota and got him all the way to Texas. What in the holy... Oh my God, have mercy, Jesus. Children in detention should not be moved out of their area. Plus, you should not use children for bait. Detention should not be used for bait. And, with the capital and, should not be taken out of the area. That is so... See, that is so inhumane. That poor baby is going to be traumatized for the rest of his life. He's going to need serious counseling. Yeah. Psychiatric treatment. He might need psychiatric drugs. He's been taken away from... Oh, see, that will make a person a criminal. He's going to have flashbacks. He's not going to trust the real police or people who could actually help him. Oh my God, it's so inhumane. Michael, go get that baby. Oh my God, that's horrible. I My 88-year-old dad spins wool and knits and crochets too. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Do you have a YouTube channel? I love men in fiber. Michael's into fiber. I love seeing men do the fiber arts. That is impressive. He's 88. Wow. Do you have sheep? My my middle name is Question. Please don't be offended because I'm gonna ask a question. Crystal says I live in an area in my little town that has a lot of Hispanic folk. I have been trying to think about ways to help if ICE shows up. If you have a church with a big basement, uh, talk to the pastor of that church and start stocking that basement and getting cots and whatnot. So if ICE shows up, the people can flee to the church and then lock the doors. If ICE doesn't know that that's a church and that they have the accommodations, they won't know to go there. Especially a non-Hispanic church. Don't go to the padre. Don't go to the Hispanic church because they will go look there. Go to a white church. I just put it. And Michael says I can say it. Crystal says, Michael, I have Marsha Blackburn likes his boots all day. I'm gonna leave that to you and Michael because I don't know what you're talking about. Michael says it really hurts to see a country I swore to protect and defend, a country I was willing to lay my life down for, has turned into this hot mess, baby. I was a trauma tech for 40 something years, and this is really working my nerves. This is really, really, really working my nerves. Thank you, Sam. Oh my God. If I wasn't afraid of being detained, I would go get that baby and take him back home. Exactly. Children should not be in detention centers, period. Children should not be used as bait to get their parents. And we weren't supposed to be detaining anybody they didn't have a warrant for. You don't have a warrant for a 5-year-old child. Bonnie says, Michael, Olivia told me, Mom, we need to get passports. I have a passport, and I told my daughter I was going to take a picture of it and I was going to shrink it down and print it out to the size of my driver's license and I was going to carry it in my phone case. She says, Mom, they're not going to honor that. I said, but if it has my picture and my passport ID, they can call and make sure that it's real. And she says they're not going to call anybody. So she says they now have little passport cards that you can order and carry on your person. I don't know how much the passport cards are because she just told me about it today. Might be something to think about. Order a card and carry it on your person. But then, people have had papers on them and they won't even let them get their papers out of their pockets to show them that they have papers. And they took that one man up to, I forgot where there was a snowstorm and put him out and told him he could walk back. Inhumane. Roberta says children should not be in detention. We didn't like it when Obama did it. We should never condone it now. No, they shouldn't have been in detention in the first place. You got parents running around trying to find their children. No, and the children should not be separated from their parents. I agree. RM says, Michael, you didn't do it for the government, but for the people. Thank you for your service. Amen. Sometimes I can read typo RM. Other times I have to ask for clarification. Chris says, Michael, I don't know where they're gonna continue in a voluntary order with these policies. See. Yeah, no. This is way beyond madness. Gobble says, no sheep now. Dad's a retired farmer, so that's where it started. Wow. That's impressive. Roberta says, we have a railroad here. Ooh. Fantastic. Yeah, Crystal, you need a railroad. You need a safe house. RM says, I'm so worried about the children and not the... Because if you're a pet or if you're a criminal, you get a pardon. If you're somebody who came to better yourself and work, but you don't look like them, you're a criminal. Yeah, well, that is so awesome. Love seeing other men in the fiber arts. I know. I love it. The churches are where the hatred begins here. Oh, man. Oh, Crystal. That is so sad. All of them? That is so sad. Oh my goodness. You too, Bonnie? Oh my goodness. Maybe find a black church. Maybe find a black church. Michael says, Bonnie, we have price cost of living in other countries. Not gonna lie. Yeah. But my thing is, Michael, if I leave the country, are they going to let the banks send me my monthly checks? Because he's so petty, he might stop the deposits. I mean, I'm not putting anything past him. Bonnie says, my mom is a holy roller, and the hatred that comes out of her, I'm ashamed of her. I love her. She's my mom, but I don't like her. Oh, that they still have that going on. See, Olivia too. Oh my gosh. It's so true. The churches, they preach hate. Oh my gosh. Remember, I live in the same state as Pastor Locke, and some of the others ain't much better. I'm in the same state as you. I have to go look at Pastor Locke because I'm not familiar with him. Girl. I am not familiar with him. Where's Michelle when I need her? Okay, I'm going to look him up, Bonnie, because I am not familiar with him. And my alarm just went off. Let me go through the chat, and then I'm going to release you all to the rest of your day. Chris says, question, where are the children from his first term? Roberta didn't answer, so let's go see. I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. No, I don't want AI. Just answer my question. Mm. I don't know why I can't see my cursor. Hang on, everybody. I'm trying to find my cursor again. I have to see what's wrong with this. It's probably in my settings. It just updated my computer, so it's not working for my good. There we go. Okay, according to Mr. Google, 2017 to 21, thousands of children separated from their parents were detained in various locations. Tender age shelters, young children and toddlers were sent to specialized, often temporary shelters. Casa Paza, Texas, a former Walmart superstore in Brownsville, Texas, held roughly 1,500 boys aged 10 to 17. 10 cities, Texas, hundreds of children were kept in cage-like structures with metal fencing in McAllen and Tornillo, Texas, where they often stayed for longer than the legally allowed 72 hours. Hotels. Some children were held in hotels, such as in McAllen, for days or weeks before being expelled. So, what happened to the children? They had a reunification challenge. Years later, some of the nearly 3,000 to 5,000 children, estimates vary by report, taken during this period have still not been reunited with their parents due to a lack of centralized tracking database. Oh, for the love of God. Sponsorship. Many children were eventually placed with sponsors, often parents, relatives, or acquaintances already in the U.S., while their immigration cases continued. Continued custody. In some cases, when no suitable sponsor could be found, children remained in the custody of the Office of Refugee Resettlement until they turned 18. Oh, God. Post first term status as of 2023. The Biden administration continued to work on reuniting families, with some families finally being reunited years after their initial separation. However, it was reported in 2021 that the parents of hundreds of separated children could not be located. Oh, that is so sad. That is so sad. That is so sad. Inhumane. And they elected him again. Michael, all the kids are down there with you. That's what they're hoping, Michael. They're hoping it's taking attention away. But when I was in Don Lemon on Sunday, and they were going through everything that had happened on Saturday, there were people in the chat that kept saying, "We want the Epstein files," and even Governor Walz was saying, he had this whole long sentence he said, and he says, instead of coming down here and messing with my people, why don't you spend your energy in releasing the Epstein files since you've got 2,100 pages that you need to go through? So they haven't forgotten. Oh Lord, DC, wasn't he the one people were planting tarot cards in his church? Sunita, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming, baby doll. But they don't honor the cards at the airport. They don't. Really? Well, I've got a one of those magic driver's license. I had to pay extra for it, and I can get on a plane with my driver's license. I've got the star. Crystal says, yes, Roberta, the same one that said autism is possession and that you can get it from taking Tylenol. Yeah. Yeah. But thanks, Sunitha, because I just heard about the card this morning and I was not aware that they wouldn't take them at the airport. You have the book and the card. Okay. If I might ask, how much was the card? Roberta says, Chris, some were reunited with parents, but I think some 60 are still missing. Roberta says, DC, I laughed so hard when I saw him go crazy about witches. Oh my gosh. Crystal says, I have a huge crawl space, Roberta. He is crazy. I love it. Michael says, Chris, they don't want to talk about the ones from his first term. See, yeah, they don't want to talk about them, but they still need to deal with them. Gavel says, need to go vote those racists out, guys, and take your country back. Gavel, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and please join us again when you can. Paul says, Marsha Blackburn is running for governor, and 2 more House R's are not running again. Oh. In the last wave of elections, everybody voted blue except Tennessee. And I still say that's because Shady Vance came down and did that big rally. Bonnie says that was Olivia too. She wants to move out of the country. She's not hatred. Yeah, that's craziness. Michael says the way they gerrymander the districts is making it harder to vote those people out. Michael, you would know, because this lady said it doesn't matter what the district is, you can vote for your person. Even if you're in a Republican district, you can vote for a Democrat. And the Democrat, if enough people vote for the Democrat will win. Is that true? Because they did cut up districts for a BP spike. Yes, girl. I tell you. I know you're in Tennessee, baby girl, and I'm sorry for you. When I heard about Tennessee, I thought about you. I was scrolling. I'm having trouble with my little pointer here. I got to figure out what's wrong with my pointer. Michael, didn't the court say no on the new districts? The court said no on the new districts, and they went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, oh, yeah, you can do that. Yep, the court said no, and the Supreme Court said, yep. Okay, RM, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and God bless you. Thank you so much. We do appreciate everybody from across the pond and everybody who's in solidarity with us. Thank you so much. Let's not talk about the non-consensual hysterectomy in those detention camps. No, we're not going to talk about that because that's going back to 1940. That's a lawsuit. That's horrible. Roberta, in some states they did. Texas waited it out and got their crud past due to time limit or something stupid like that. Well, I gotta run. Everybody, have a great day, VJ. Always good to see you and everybody. Thank you, Bonnie. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. We're getting ready to sign off. I'm trying to get through this chat, and you all keep chatting. I love it. I'm okay with it. I'm trying to release you all. I know you got things to do. I don't remember I got it at the same time. Okay. Thank you, Sunitha. I just found out about it today. But I got my driver's license. But it doesn't say that I'm a citizen. Oh, it's got the eyes. I don't know. It's a for real license. But never got to use my passport because C happened. Oh, well, I was using my passport to fly because I didn't have the real driver's license until the last time it renewed. Sam says there was an effort made to redistrict Texas to add five so reps could get five extra seats to Republicans could get five extra seats to counter the five they believe they will lose. Court threw out the redistricting. The courts threw it out, and the Supreme Court said they could have it. That's why Gavin Newsom had that big 50 in California, so he could have five more Democrat seats to offset the five more Republican seats that Texas voted in. Oh, Crystal. I'm so sorry. You need to start a campaign against her. Find somebody to run. Paul says it's so frustrating living where people act like nothing is going on or outright support it. I think we are one of the only countries in Washington. We are one of the only counties in Washington that haven't protested. Really? You didn't have a. If you check and see if they still have that 50 state website up and contact them and see if they can't organize a protest in your county, because they were trying to have a it was supposed to be 50 states, 50 counties, and 50 something else. I don't remember now. That was biting. I couldn't have said it any better, Paul. Thank you. Roberta says I need to start keeping written notes. It's all jumbled together. I know. But thank you. But you were right. The court said not one. Oh my God. The court said no, you can't do that. We're going to use the 2021 map. And then they kicked it up to the Supreme Court, and they're like, oh yeah, you can do that. I need to help. Love you, Roberta. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Okay, I got to the bottom of the chat. Yay. Oh, there's Paul. Google Lincoln County, Washington. Lincoln County. Is it going to scare me? Well, there goes my battery. Oh, I want to thank you all who have spent this last hour and 39 minutes with me. You could have spent it anywhere, but you chose to spend it with me, and I do not take it lightly. Please, everybody, come back next Tuesday. Check at 2 o'clock. If Reese is not on, if Reese is on, come back at 3 so we can discuss what he talked about, and we can get our homework to fill up their mailboxes and fill up their voicemail. Thank you, Paul. I will. I'll go look at that because yeah. I'm part of the 92%, so I work from my keyboard. I don't go out, but we'll find you something, Paul. Spokane has some culture and flavor, though. Oh, really? Okay, okay. Thank you, everybody. Be safe. Carry your papers. Carry your backpack. Make sure you got everything that you need in your backpack. It is sad you got to pack up to be taken away. Um, and I will see those who can make it next week. Take care now. Bye bye.